Kenny, you've obviously played a bunch of different offenses, different quarterbacks, different systems. In your opinion, how long does it take for a new offense with a lot of new players in key positions to kind of gel and come together and start firing on all cylinders?
It definitely takes a process. I would say somewhere in there between camp, when everybody starts to understand the chemistry, how the coach likes to call the play, how the quarterback is going to progress through it, the way he sees it, and everybody getting to the spots that that are most comfortable where people are supposed to be.
What's your on-field chemistry look like right now between you and Caleb throughout the spring?
I haven't really been here, that much. I was here 2 weeks, before the OTAs actual started, against the defense. So I only got the routes versus air with him, and today was my first day against the defense. It's gonna be a work in progress. Nothing was made the next day, or came out right away, with chemistry. So it's gonna take some time. And like I said, somewhere in there during training camp, we'll really start to understand each other.
You made it a point to attend his pro day. Why did you want to be there for that moment before we knew you?
Well, I just got traded, and Coach Flus had told me he was going to be there. Ryan told me they were going to be there, so I said, "Yeah, I'll come through." It's right down the street from my house, so I had nothing else better to do.
When the Chargers drafted you out of college, did you live in Southern California or did you go home in the house?
No, I went home. I was actually training in Florida, Boca Raton, and I had my little draft party in North Carolina.
When did you settle in Southern California? Did you live there full time?
Yeah.
What's the lifestyle change here? You've been kind of in the same state.
Yeah, I've been in California since 15 years. Going on, and my family still lives there. I still have a house there. Like I said, I wasn't here the past 2 weeks, so I was in California.
What's that adjustment going to be like? Just living halfway across the country from. Is your family going to stay there?
Yeah, no, it's going to be a little bit of an adjustment. I haven't lived without them, my whole time in the NFL. So, just going to have to, figure it out, being by myself for a little while and, just keeping the main thing, going out and being myself on the football field and, just staying focused.
You ever driven in snow before?
Have I ever driven in the snow? I'm from North Carolina. It snows nothing like this, but we get a couple snow days, and we don't go to school for it. I'm sure they still go to school out here, but no, I haven't driven in the snow.
Your head coach referred to you as a crafty wide receiver. Do you agree with that, and what do you think that means when somebody calls you crafty?
Yeah, absolutely. Just think it means your technique and the ways you're able to perform are an art. You're able to just make things look different. You're probably doing the same things, but it looks a little different. You're able to get to it different ways, and it's kind of special the way you draw it up.
Has that aided you more as you've been in the league longer as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Just being able to see multiple things over and over again. You see the same thing over and over. You're able to attack it different ways, and just learning through those situations.
How much longer do you want to play, and do you have a desire to maybe get an extension here and finish out that time here, or are you at the point in your career you're just taking it one at a time?
It's kind of tough to answer right now, but I'm going to play as long as I can. As far as extension, we would like to play, speak for itself, and if they offer me something that I like, then we'll go from there.
Are you okay with the idea if this is a contract year, going out and proving it and looking for that next deal?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the goal right now. Just to go out and do what I always do, and just try to remain who I am. And the market just got reset, so.
On that note, what are your thoughts on, especially for veteran players, like the market for wide receivers keeps evolving, especially the last couple of years?
That's huge. It's big for the game. Christian McCaffrey just went for 19. That's huge for a running back. And, as long as those numbers continue to go up, the players are going to obviously continue to get better. They're younger, bigger, stronger, faster. And, they continue to raise the bar. So as long as they're taking care of their job, and vets like me, we just continue to do what we do, take the back seat, and, get paid as well.
I feel like there's this high end, the way the receiver market looks right now, there's the high end receivers, yourself in that category for doing this now, 12 seasons, and then there's the rookies. Do you feel like the mid-range, mid-tier receivers are kind of getting squeezed out of the NFL a little bit?
I wouldn't say squeezed out. I wouldn't say squeezed out. You got twos, like wide receiver twos, are still getting paid pretty good. I think above 20 million. I think.
Is that an unusual situation for you though? You're in this place you've never been before, far away from the people you love. If somebody came up and said, "Hey, you want to commit to this place for 3 more years or 2 years or whatever," is that a tough decision? Kind of not knowing what it's like here.
Not really. As far as I've been here, it's been nothing but love. It's been beautiful. The golf is amazing, which I love to do, and the guys are amazing in the locker room as well. So I mean, it wouldn't be hard to adjust to a city like this.
Keenan, when you found out about the trade, what did it mean to have Coach Beatty already here?
That was huge. He's one of the first guys I talked to, and just him being here made it a lot more comfortable. Just not having to adjust to another guy who I'm gonna see every day, who's gonna talk to me every day. We already have an understanding of the way I go through the week. He knows how I want to practice. He knows when and when not to with me. So that's great.
Keenan, I know you said you haven't had much of a chance to develop chemistry with Caleb yet, but what do you see as your role in helping him develop as a veteran who's been in this league a long time?
He's obviously a guy that has tremendous talent, but it's gonna be a work in progress. Like you say, he just came out of college. The huddle call, having new terminology. For myself, some of the plays are the same, but the terminology is different. So you hear one word and you automatically go back to what I was hearing last year, but you have to transfer it to this year, and it's like same play, different word. So you just got to mix and match it, and that's kind of he's gonna have to grow to it, and it takes a while. So
Are there any similarities between Caleb now and Justin in 2020 when he was a rookie?
absolutely, you got guys like I said, just the huddle call in itself, just being able to hear it and give it to the guys, with and knowing what you're saying, knowing what you're talking about, then going to the cadence and getting everybody on the same page with motions and seeing the defense, checking here, safety comes down, you got to know what to do. So yeah, it's definitely hard. Everybody goes through it. It's one of those things where you got to go through it to get to it. So
You don't seem
You
pressed
spent
at
most
all.
of your year or most of your career playing with really good quarterbacks. What did you learn from them that you can share with Caleb at some point when it comes up?
I think the best thing is confidence. Both of Philip and Justin has tremendous confidence. They believe in their arm, they believe in their talent, and they believe in what they see. You got to be able to see it, and you got to be able to make something happen right now. And if you second guess yourself just for a little bit and you hang on just too long, something bad can happen. So just understand what you're looking at and just make a play.
You don't seem stressed at all though about like that this eventually will come along. Is there something about Caleb that you've seen that gives you the confidence that eventually that connection will be together?
Well, I think the offense as a whole, everybody's experienced pretty much at every position except the quarterback position. So as long as we're all talking to them, we're all on the same page, we're all communicating at the same level, there should be no problem.
How did
What
you
are your
end up
early
going
impressions-
from?
What are your early impressions of Rome, and how do you feel like you can kind of help him along?
Rome looks great. He's a guy who stepped in. He's been with the ones right off the bat, and he's running around pretty good. His routes, he knows what he's doing, his responsibilities, and that's huge. First coming in, we haven't even got the training camp, and he already kind of knows, where to go, where to line up, where to be at. So that's huge.
What do you look
As an
forward to when it
extension
comes?
of that, when you've got 3 guys, DJ, Rome, and yourself, that have kind of different skill sets, how do you see that all kind of blending together to make this offense more dynamic?
I think we have different skill sets, but we're all doing kind of the same thing. We're all going to run the same routes. We're all going to be in the same spot. So the skill set really doesn't matter until you get the ball. And once you get the ball, you're able to see who can do what. Obviously, DJ, he can, through the roof, his yards after catch. We have to see what Rome's going to do in the NFL. And, I'm a guy who's going to play the middle, like I play it. So I think we're all going to feed off each other and, just build confidence with each other.
Today was your first day getting a live look at the defense. What do you think about just how they fly around, the energy, how they talk, just their overall demeanor?
It looked like a top 5 defense. They sound like a top 5 defense too. Defenses are annoying, especially at practice. You just hear them every time they make a play. It's hoorah, celebration. It's guys running up and down the sideline. So it's annoying. The offense, we get a first down. One guy just trots around, comes back to the huddle. Everybody's like, okay, what's the next play? you don't really see too much. Yeah, you don't get all that just because you know what I'm saying somebody did a rip through and got back to the quarterback. So, I mean, it is what it is. But their energy, the way they communicate, the way they get lined up, definitely high class.
And in terms of Caleb and the cadence, you've obviously worked with another rookie quarterback with Justin. What's the realistic timeline for everyone to learn the cadence and for Caleb to find his voice and perfect that?
I would say by the time we get to training camp, because he's going to be here for a while, by the time we get to training camp, he'll be, well oiled on what we got going on, and spending time, with the offensive lineman, with the OC, and like you said, just understanding his voice and how he wants to say it, his rhythm, how he wants to go through it. By the time we get to training camp, probably a week or two in, we should be solidly ran.
Do you have a sense of what makes this defense dangerous?
Front seven, first of all, you got Montez down there, D-Walk, Jermaine Edmonds in the middle, TJ. Those guys are hard to deal with. They're big, they're fast, they're strong. And obviously you got JJ on the outside. He's making noise happen. Tyreek's out there as well. He's a big guy at cornerback. He's long. And, like I said, they communicate well.
DJ said it's going to be a race to get 1,000 yards. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. Just because. I mean, obviously, we both want to be successful. We both want the ball. We both playmakers. So it's gonna be a race.
How important is it for you and DJ to build that chemistry? I know we talked about the chemistry with the quarterback, but the chemistry with y'all and running routes and the nonverbals, and it's kind of in the middle of the play, kind of freestyling. How important is it to get that chemistry, and what's that process like?
I think it's big. Because on certain plays we're able to, I can go to his spot, he can go to my spot, and we're able to make the play right, wherever we're at. Sort of like today, we got a formation and nobody was kind of in the right spot, but we all ran the play. As long as we can communicate on that level and get there fast and make the defense have to speed up and, show us the look, and I think it makes it easier on the quarterback.
Do you plan to do another, I know Caleb organized that workout in Southern California before the draft. Are you planning to do throwing sessions with him, like before you guys join?
Yeah. We'll probably take a trip somewhere. Haven't talked about it in depth, but we'll probably take a trip somewhere.
How important is, obviously the on-field stuff is, you need it to be, have that symbiotic relationship, but you guys went to the Sky game together. It feels like there's been a lot of off-field bonding. Mm-hmm. Is that stuff like as important as it seems to?
Yeah, absolutely. Just understanding each other's energy. Like Kobe say, finding those ticks. How to get in, how to get into his head, how to make him, very competitive, and then what to make him tick. You know what I'm saying? And just being able to hang out with each other. Finding each other's rhythm, energy, and kind of emotion is everything.
What was the reaction like at the Sky game?
I thought it was fire. Those girls can play. I like to think I can play sometimes, but seeing them up close and personal, they're fast. Ball handling is good. Everybody can shoot. They started the game out a little sloppy. They was missing layups and stuff, but it was a preseason game, so.
What was the scouting report on the fans and their interaction with you guys?
It was cool. We had Tarp with us, so everybody's not able to run up too much.
Hey, at practice today, you lined up in the slot a lot. Is that still a role that you're relishing?
Just doing what I've always done. In 11 personnel, I go to the slot. 12, I'm at the Z. So.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
So this is your first off season here. Nobody here knows what your off season routine is. Obviously, you do. You know what it takes to get your body right. What is it, and why you choose to stay away until now?
It's just a regiment that I built upon my years being in the league. I was in great contact with Coach Flus, Coach Washington, and my position coach, Coach Trav, and also with the guys in the building, just staying on tune with the installs and all that type of stuff. So it's almost like I didn't miss a beat.
What caught your attention the most is they made some moves since you split down in January.
What you mean? As
Well,
far
there's been a lot
as
of changes.
Right. I mean, of course, we picked up some great additions on offense. We picked up some also great additions on defense. It's not something anything specific, but I feel like we had a good offseason as far as adding people.
How would you describe the energy around the defense right now?
That's great. We're trying to pick up where we left off from last year. We lost two great guys up front, Justin Johnson and Yannick Ngoke, but we got some young guys that's really stepping up and experienced guy like Jake Martin that's really making some noise out there. So yeah, I'm pretty excited on what I'm seeing, honestly.
Is there a hunger to try to get after a rookie quarterback? Is there a sense that you guys want to kind of welcome him to the league a little bit?
Well, I mean, iron sharp as iron. Anybody that I'm going up against, I want to make better. I will hope they want to do the same to me. So yeah, we're just taking that approach as we go along.
Montez, what has struck you about Caleb as you've gotten to know him early on?
He's pretty humble, talented guy, but he's pretty down to earth guy, man. He has those leadership qualities.
Montez, last season you get the big contract, you get your Pro Bowl, get double-digit sacks. How do you try to top that this year? What are you trying to set out to do?
I'll just be better than I was last year. Obviously, I set goals for myself and my team and plan on achieving them.
Do you have a sack number in mind or anything like that you're shooting for?
No, sir.
Montez Edmonds characterized the defense as being good. What do you think it would take to make the defense great or elite? Like, what has to be done on this defense?
Yeah, we just got to keep stacking the days. I wouldn't say it's the same defense from last year, but it's pretty much the same. We're familiar with the guys that are around us, so I mean, just stacking the days and really just creating that chemistry.
The Bears team that you got traded to last year was 2-6, and since then you won some games. You got Hard Knocks coming in. You have the #1 pick in the draft. You have Keenan Allen. You have Roma Dunze. And how has just the mood around this place changed?
I mean, it's definitely exciting, but I mean, we really can't get caught up on what's on paper. Football is played on the field, and you got to go out there and execute the X's and O's. So we can't get caught up in any of that stuff that's going on outside of here, but just stick to what we know, and that's playing football.
Do you appreciate the attitude of the defense and how much they talk and how vocal the spirit? I think the coordinator called it salty last week. How much do you appreciate being part of that, like,
Yeah,
nature?
it's exciting. I think to play football, man, you gotta have maybe a screw or two loose. So you out there having fun and talking smack, man. It just makes it just so much more fun for everybody around me.
Do you think there's a chance with Coach Washington here that maybe they're a little more creative with you this year, and maybe on third down, things of that nature?
I mean, we'll see what happens.
After everything you had to deal with last year, being one place and then getting traded mid-season, did you feel like you needed a little bit more of a break in the offseason to kind of reset?
Not necessarily. I mean, this 17-game season is a long season as it is. I need a break after every season. So, yeah.
Montez, even without being all that active in the offseason, how does your familiarity with the Bears, as opposed to last year when you came in midstream, how does that help you be even better this year than you were last year?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we brought basically the same defensive staff back, and we got a lot of guys on defense back. So it's definitely some familiar faces, familiar calls, of course, and all that type of stuff. So yeah, just sort of kind of pick up where you left off, but we'll see.
What are you trying to work on right now with no pads? Like, what are you trying to get out of this week? Come in here and be with the guys.
Building chemistry with the guys is kind of the main thing for me. Just getting to know everybody around me, knowing, just looking towards the future and seeing how we're gonna work together on the field.
What was the Pro Bowl experience like for you, having the chance to just experience that for the first time?
Yeah, it was an experience I won't forget. It was a goal of mine since I got in the league. Everybody wants to be a Pro Bowler, so yeah, we just got to build off that.
What was the most fun part of that week for you?
Really, just seeing all the other great players that was brought to the Pro Bowl. Man, it's cool just being amongst other players who are talented.
What do you see in Austin Booker?
Oh man, I'm excited about him. He's got the whole makeup from the frame to the pass rush ability. I mean, he's gonna be a great player.
What can you do to help make sure Austin gets the most out of his potential?
I mean, I just got to be that big brother for him. I mean, be there for him when he has a question and just help him along the way, just like the vets helped me.
When you look back on last season, what did it mean to you to get this new opportunity here, to get stability, to have the breakthrough? How did you reflect on last season?
Repeat, I'm sorry.
When you look back on last season and coming to Chicago, getting the contract, getting the Pro Bowl like you wanted, how did you reflect on what that season meant to you personally and hitting the goals that you were looking for?
I mean, it was just all a blessing for me. It it just displayed a bunch of hard work that I've been displaying from my whole life. But I mean, it's also a credit to the guys I had around me. I wasn't getting maybe not getting so much attention in Washington, and when I got here, it seemed like it was all about me, but it was really the guys around me that was doing everything.
Do you still hoop?
A little bit.
Are there any activities, like when you guys break for summer, are there any things that like teams tell you like not to do as far as like hobbies, jet skiing, basketball, that stuff?
I mean, they don't necessarily not to do it. But you know what you're not supposed to be doing, so you gotta tread carefully.
Javon started to come on pretty late last season. Now that he's gonna have an expanded role on this team and playing next to you, where do you see that he is right now coming in, to this season? And what do you think he needs to improve on most to reach his potential?
I mean, I really just think he just needs to let the chains off. I mean, he has all of the ability, the size, the skills, the mind. He's humble. He just got to let the chains off and go.
You talked about mentoring a young player like Austin Booker. Who was the person who showed you the ropes?
For me, it was a guy named Ryan Kerrigan in Washington. I mean, I seen the way he trained. I seen the way he took care of his body. I seen the way he practiced, and I wanted to mimic that.
Cole, how do you sort of recalibrate yourself to playing with a rookie starting quarterback at this stage and just trying to get yourself on the page where you're trying to advance the offense, but understanding that he's going to be back at square one a little bit?
Yeah, well, I've played with a bunch of different quarterbacks at this point now, so that's nothing new. But really, just being patient with it, kind of understanding that there's a learning process to it, and especially as a rookie, there's a lot that you got to learn coming into the league. So, I thought he's done a great job so far throughout OTAs. You can see those steps he's taken week to week, and but yeah, there's definitely an element of patience that there has to be. Just because of where he's at in his career, and that's totally understandable.
How much of that patience extends to the cadence? I think Flus has talked with us several times about trying to use that as a weapon and knowing that for a rookie it's different than what they do in college. Is there anything that the older guys can do to kind of help him along there, or is that just something that takes time to get on the same page?
Yeah, it's kind of like you got to find your own voice when you come to the league. It's so interesting because in that position, like taking a snap under center and saying a cadence is something that you would think would be so normal, but most guys aren't doing that until they get to the league now. Most guys are doing the clap. You look to the sideline, you see the play. It's no different than a receiver doing it. All those operational things are things that you don't do now until you get to the league. So getting guys in the huddle, saying the play call, doing the cadence, those are all brand new things for him. So I thought today was his best day with it. Actually, in the huddle, he was crisp and clear and all those things, and I think that just comes with confidence in the playbook that he's gaining, and like I said, kind of finding his own voice with the cadence, because that's definitely something that if you can get going, you can weaponize.
As our resident Chicago Bears fan turned Chicago Bears player,
Yeah.
how have you seen Chicago embrace Caleb in the couple months?
Yeah, I mean, they've been great, and I thought that was as expected. I know going to the draft, everyone was kind of freaking out about it or not thinking that he would be accepted for some reason. But no, people are excited, and it's definitely warranted for sure.
Hanging out with him at all?
Yeah, I saw him at Wrigley the other day, and that was pretty wild.
What was it like when you were there?
Oh, it's just cool. It's cool to see everyone as excited as they are for him, and more importantly, he's super excited to be here. So I think he's starting to get the understanding of what this means to the city and what he means to the city, and he's definitely embracing all that.
As it became clear that Caleb was going to be the guy for this team, what was your curiosity about kind of his makeup, what's he like, and then how have you guys connected since then? What's been your impression of him so far?
Yeah, I mean, just getting to know him as a person. You don't really know somebody until you meet him, and getting to know him over the past couple months now has been pretty fun, and you realize how competitive he is. We went to Top Golf the other night, and they were going to close, but he had to finish the game. So we were there till about 1 a.m, finishing the game.
Well, to that end, when you talk about the pre-draft freak out locally, what's the preconception of Caleb that you may have had that now, a couple months later, that now that you've gotten to know him, you see that it's completely different than maybe you thought it might be?
Yeah, I mean, I try not to have that with anybody, just because I think it's so important that you meet somebody personally before you make a decision on them. Obviously, you hear a ton of things, and you don't know what's true and what's not, and you hear the Hollywood like diva-ness, which is kind of funny because he's only spent a year or two in LA. Like he's not even from LA, so that's kind of funny. But yeah, no, definitely after when I first met him and going on forward, you definitely gain a different perspective and you really wonder where those things kind of come from.
The offense as a whole is learning a completely new system. You got a lot of key players in key positions, and you got a rookie quarterback. Versus the defense, right? In their third year, they got 9 starters. They out there flying around, they chirping. How do you avoid the frustration from them winning early on the majority of the plays?
Yeah, I mean, I know you guys have only been in a few practices, but I don't know if I necessarily feel like that. We've had a couple here and there, and they're a veteran group, and they have guys that have been in this system for a while now, and you can kind of see the impact Kevin Byard's had since he's been here. He's very vocal, a really good leader over there for the defense. In terms of scheme, I mean, it's a very similar type of offense we're running that we have been running, and most of the league is now running this type of offense. Obviously, some terminology is different, but for guys who have played now, whether it's Keenan, myself, DJ, Gerald, these are all concepts we're very familiar with. Obviously, for Caleb, this is brand new, and obviously he's the guy that we got to bring along and keep helping him along the way.
He did a bunch of work pre-draft, like learning this offense like on his own. Could you tell any of that? Like when?
Well, yeah, you can tell the concepts he's very comfortable with when he makes those tight window throws, and you see that on the film. So whether it's some of the spacing routes that we have, you can definitely tell the concepts that he's grown in comfort with, and based on the results you see in practice. So yeah, you can definitely see an element of that for sure.
Is this offense a lot like last year's offense, the Getsy offense?
Well, schematically, yeah. I mean, West Coast, everybody's running this now. I'd say 70% of the league is running this. So, yeah, so similar in that regard, but it's obviously how you call it and how you go about installing it. And, obviously Shane has his own tweaks on things, but in terms of the overarching theme of the offense and the concepts and all that stuff, there's very similar things to it, yeah.
You noticed Keenan Allen's route running?
Yeah, I mean, he's fantastic. Yeah, I mean, I've been watching it for 12 years now. It's pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive for sure.
With him in the building, what sort of boost do you think he can give, given that he's done this at a high level for so long?
Yeah, well, I think whenever you have a veteran like that, it's just it's a great thing for younger guys to look to. Even guys like myself, just the way he works, comes in and takes care of his business, and the way he's survived and thrived in this league up to this point is really impressive. And obviously, as he's aged, he's still been able to produce. And those are the things you look at, when you're a player in this league, and you kind of try and model some of the habits that he's brought in. So yeah, he's obviously a very special player.
With Shane, what are your early impressions of kind of his twists on the offense, and then just how he teaches? He gets a lot of credit, be glad for being that guy.
Yeah, I think he's a great teacher. Just the way he installs, it's clear and concise, and there's not a lot of gray area with things, and he wants things a certain way, and he wants it done a certain way. So I think guys have been really receptive to that, and I think so far, we got some things to clean up, but the execution of the offense has been pretty clean for it being the first time in Shane's offense this offseason.
Well, where are you at now, year 5 for you, this 5th minicamp, just in terms of your skill set and what you kind of, I know you always have to pick something you want to improve. How are you kind of feeling about your game right now?
Yeah, no, I feel good about it. Obviously, confidence for me has just been growing from year to year, and yeah, so I just continue to find some little things day to day to work on, whether it's on top of route stuff, footwork in the run game. There's only so much you can do in the run game right now, but whether it's individual drills and things like that, and obviously most importantly, developing a rapport with Caleb at this point. So those are the kind of things that I've been working on this offseason.
Is it different having the contract settled this time this year as opposed to last year?
Yeah, no, I'd be lying if I said it wasn't. It's definitely not something that you think about now going out at practice. You can just worry about football, and there's definitely a relief in that in a sense, and you can kind of focus on the important things, and that's winning a Super Bowl.
You mentioned earlier you obviously played with a lot of different quarterbacks since you got here, a couple of chapters. What would you share with Caleb about what playing quarterback for the Bears in this city is?
Yeah, I guess that's something that you kind of have to figure out on your own a little bit, but I think he's been understanding, what it means to people and how difficult it is here. That being said, he's been in the limelight for a long time. I personally think LA is a little bit different than Chicago. The people here, this is close to their heart, and this means a lot to a lot of people here. So there's that element to it, but he doesn't shy away from it. You can tell that, and he wants to compete, and he wants to be remembered for a very long time. So I think he's ready for this opportunity, and he just has the demeanor about him that you have that feeling like, you know, he can succeed here for sure.
Who won at Topgolf?
I did.
Who else?
That's why we were there all night.
Was it, did he wanna keep playing?
Yeah, well, yeah. Then they were like, "You guys got it's 1 a.m. We got to get out of here." So they shut off the game, and his team was up, and then we couldn't get the points loaded back on because it was already too late. Ended up getting it back on somehow. And yeah, then I beat him. So
Who was on his team and who was on your team?
there were some of the rookie receivers. It was we had Brett Rippin, our third string quarterback, and a few other guys. But it was a good time. It was a good time.
Driver, right?
He was the long driver. Yeah, he can scratch player. It's impressive. It's impressive to watch.
Well, how many texts did you get from friends and family about Hard Knocks?
I got a few. What was funny was I kind of already had heard about it a week or so prior. I was like, it's not already out yet, and like, so I guess it just released the other day. But yeah, that'll be cool. Obviously we got to keep the main thing there, but you know, definitely something cool to have as we grow older, and you know, when we're all done with this game, kind of something to look back on for our kids and grandkids, and yeah, so definitely going to take advantage of it and kind of soak that all in.